hearing, a special meeting. Notice hereby given that a public hearing will be held on Monday, June 29th at 1 p.m. at the Shandaken Meeting Hall, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York. Hear all those for and against the CDBG Community Development Block Grant application for the Phoenicia Water District. The town anticipates applying for funds for the following activities: to complete the High Street Loop, relocate High Street Pump Station, reclaim infiltration gallery, and install third filtration pump. Special meeting will convene immediately after the public hearing to attend to town business.
Okay. With that, Peg, if you want to.
Board member, Board member Bernstein?
Here.
Board member Higley? Board member Malloy?
Here.
Board member Storms? Supervisor Stanley?
Here.
Okay.
So this is a requirement of the application process, is that a public hearing is held on the project application, and I'm here to answer any questions, or if there's any concerns or favorable response, now's the time.
Yes, I think we need to do this.
I think public infrastructure for drinking water is important, personally. But does anyone have any questions or? Yes?
John Kill, on the Phoenicia Water Council for over 5 years now. And I've been pushing for this water, the best drinking water, to come down from Smith's Reservoir. It's been over 5 years. Nothing has happened. I've never seen such in-house bickering, accusations, lack of funding, one thing after another, for the sake of saying something more politically correct, like a bunch of girls on the rail arguing who's the prettiest.
I am.
Meanwhile, nothing is, well, certain things are done, but certainly not 5 years waiting on this damn 4-inch line to come down from the mountain into this filtration plant. That's about all I have to say.
So are you for or against the grant?
Excuse me?
Are you for or
This is
against
for
the grant?
This is about the grant. This isn't about the road. This is about that pipe.
I just thought we'd open with that.
Okay, good.
You would
The
be
grant, I'm
open
all
to
for
a
the
grant,
grant,
right?
whatever
I gotta
would
think-
expedite this.
Now, are you the person that guaranteed what we were spending for the grant application, that if it didn't go through, you would redo it without check?
Yes.
Okay, that we go.
That would be me.
Yes.
Fortunately, in process, you know, I've been sitting with the application over the past several weeks, and Shandaken is very well positioned because all the engineering is done, the income survey is complete. There's always an argument for sound infrastructure, especially concerning water and sewer. So I'm just going to forge forward. What would be helpful, especially concerning the water district, is some letters of support for the project that I can include with the application, and if you'll just contact me and let me know. Residents in the area, it can be a handwritten note saying, yeah, we need this. It doesn't need to be formal, but that would be helpful as well. So if there's specific people I should be contacting, or if there's someone out there that can help with that legwork, that would be great.
I don't think anybody's against getting this water from down the hill.
And even if it's a one-page
Like a petition type?
petition type thing, just to get signatures, that's
How many?
just extra,
The more you get, the better off you are.
yeah, as, fill a couple of pages, that's just extra support for the application itself.
Does that have to be restricted to the individuals who are residents
Nope.
of the water district? Or
No, it could be anyone in the town of Shandaken.
We can do an online petition. Or
That
do
would
it
be-
online on
that would be
Facebook,
awesome.
If you share.
That would be
Now,
great.
is our online petition still valid? You know, it's not.
Well, what we'll do is we'll print out the results, and I'll use that in the narrative language, and I'll just attach the result document.
All right, so sounds like we got. I didn't anticipate any opposition. I didn't see why anybody would be opposed.
No,
Again,
but
this is
it's-
something which,
It's
by the way,
formality.
as digging through my papers here, I found the application to FEMA that never got any response from 2013
That's
for a
great.
number of the work
And
that
I
we
do
were
need a
requesting.
copy of the affidavit of publication on the public hearing.
It's on our website.
The advertisement for public hearing, did it go in
You want me
any?
to do this, I'll certify it for you.
That would be great.
Just stop by my office.
And it was in the paper as well, correct?
Yeah, it's in the paper,
Yeah,
website.
I just need,
all that.
you to certify an affidavit.
Yeah,
affidavit
I
of
can do that.
publication as
One more
well.
question. Sure. Do you have a general time frame this goes through when
This is,
funds will be available?
this is what I'm hearing from the state. The application is due July 31st. They're anticipating award announcements in December of 2015. This particular program and the agency that runs it, which is Homes and Community Renewal, are really one of the best state agencies with regards to getting the contract out the door. So I suspect you'll see a contract sometime in January, and again, you're well positioned because all your engineering's done. You can put it out to bid, knock on wood, if it gets funded, you can put it out to bid next building, next construction season.
Does this mean we're gonna have to go with spot
For all these other, yeah, for the large projects.
The fire, the main across the bridge.
I'll get into that after we wrap this.
Okay.
Because I have information on that.
That's not included in this.
No, that's a separate thing. I'm doing that through
This
USDA.
is the water main in Woodland Valley and the plant.
This is relocation of the High Street pump.
Right.
Joyce, can you read the public notice?
Complete the High Street loop, relocate the High Street pump station, reclaim the infiltration gallery, and install a third filtration pump.
So again, what continues to happen is we keep going out, again, you need certain things. We went through everything, starting back in 2011 with a preliminary engineer's report to help itemize and say, these are your priorities, this is a lesser priority, so we could focus our attention. Then you had Irene hit, which upended everything. We did try to take advantage of FEMA applications to try to get some of this stuff addressed, but to no avail, no answer, whatnot. We then, because we didn't get answers from FEMA, we don't have the funds, we go to get estimates for the third filtration plant or the filtration pump, and that comes in excessively much higher than the quote that we had just verbal. So then that means we have to go to a grant, which then Candace had to go out, Alfred and Candace diligently went out for months to get all these income surveys. Again, this is all necessary stuff.
This is the income
And,
we're talking.
and all this stuff, I think, is going to help us in the narrative when we say, we didn't just decide yesterday to do this.
Right, this has been a work in progress. The income survey is people living in the district, community development block grant funds.
It's from everybody in the town.
Well, it's for people living in the water district. You have to prove that you're serving at least 51% low to moderate income households. So therefore, you need to complete an income survey, and Candace did a great job, by the way. The stats and the way it's presented is really phenomenal. What normally happens is you have to pretty much either certify mail or go door to door and get verification of income it's not an assumed public benefit unless you have the facts behind it.
Some people will be very reluctant to bring the public what they make.
It's not for public knowledge,
It's just for
and
government.
it's already been completed.
It's already done. Yeah, so what happened with those income surveys is they went to an office for RCAP where they remain. I don't have them, I don't have copies of
And
them.
I don't know the names or anything
Yeah.
in the district.
All we got was
It
a
just
report
says
showing the overall
percentages.
summation of what they collected, the data they collected.
And it's based on the median income in Ulster County. So, and it just gives data, I think it was 57% or low mod income households.
They should make that very clear before you ask the question.
They've already it's been done. It's been completed already. The only thing I'm gonna do, Rob, is grab a sign-in sheet from downstairs in my car and maybe just pass it around so we have
All right, paper right
documentation.
here.
That would be great.
Was
Just
there-
documentation of the attendance.
I do have one question also. Where would you get a petition copy with the proper wording on it to take to people?
I can certainly write that for you.
Email it to me and I can give it around to everybody.
Is that okay with you guys? That would be a huge, huge benefit.
I mean, I don't know, obviously, what we have in the next 2 to 3 weeks to,
And again, done is more than welcome. Don't feel like you gotta drive yourselves crazy.
I know it's not that big. But
Yeah, you guys know everyone, so that's what's helpful.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Perhaps only through the water meter reading.
That would be great.
The second person could knock on the door and explain
That's a good plan.
what we need.
And again, I'll get that language off to Rob this afternoon.
I don't even, how many residents are there actually within the water
Take
district?
the petition around when you read.
400.
And carry it through.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would you
What'd you
wait
say?
for you to sign the sheet?
Yeah, I'll wait for the sign-in sheet. And again, you know where to find me. If you have any questions during process, if you call my office, you'll find that I'm at an undisclosed location writing grants. So don't ask where I am because I'm not telling. That's when I get slowed down. But otherwise, I'll be returning calls at the end of each day between now and the deadline.
Okay, you want a copy of that receipt from the Freeman?
That'd be
They'll have it filed. Give them this and tell them to certify it for me.
Okay.
And tell them to the Freeman ads file.
Okay, great.
So they'll make a copy for you, okay? You keep that.
And is there a copy of the actual ad itself?
It's a copy they sent me.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll give you a copy of that and then tell them to certify that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to, if there's no other comments or questions, I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing for the CDBG application for Phoenicia Water District.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like to have a motion to open up the special meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Special meeting. First, let me update town board on one thing. We will have a motion on this. So, the ECWAD, the Emergency, what is it? Get all these acronyms. Emergency Community Water Assistance Grant through the USDA. So this was a copy of the original packet that was sent. Obviously, it's much smaller because they asked for triplicates and 6 copies of different things and whatnot. This was submitted in early May. June 17th, I received a response from the USDA asking for more information. You'll see everything attached here. The only final bit that we need to provide to them is they are now requesting an environmental report. The environmental report would be provided from MMI. They have provided us a task order contract. The cost of this environmental review report would be $3,500. So again, I'd ask, I have to make a motion with the town board. I have copies here. Because we need to get this as soon as we can over to USDA so that we can keep processing this grant and get this moving as fast as we can. Joyce, that's a copy for you. So basically, it's really just environmental, considering that it's a pre-existing condition, it's really photographs, it's attached to a bridge. They want to know about relative to floodplains or development within the floodplain, to which it's attached to a bridge that's in a floodplain that's existing. So we shouldn't have any problems, it's just they want the full description as they gave us in the documents here specific. MMI has done this before, and George Kaufman, the engineer that's been working on this, said they can get this done probably within a week.
This comes out of the water district.
This would come out of the water district, correct? So, I'd like to, if one of you would make a motion to approve MMI doing the environmental report.
Make a motion to approve it.
I have a second.
Second. And this is coming out, do we have a line, does it come out?
It's gonna have to come out of the water district, probably the contractual line. Again, I've asked Rick, and he's been good. There's standard repairs that generally go on throughout the water district, where it be hydrant replacement and so on and so forth. I've asked him to stop all scheduled regular work we gotta get this done. We gotta get this pipeline done before it's gonna get cold fast. And I don't want, there's no way that we can maintain that system with a fire hose in the creek,
So stop all regular work other than emergency repairs?
other than emergency repairs. You know, standard maintenance, things like that.
So it's a fair environmental report for completion of the grant application?
Correct.
Basically?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So I'll get this to George this afternoon, so we can get moving on it. I think they have surveys in the area today, actually, which might help. So that's where it stands. It's still with USDA, and we'll have to hear from them again. I'm waiting. We thought this was gonna be expedited, thought it would be coming much quicker, but it's federal government, so we're going to get 6 copies of the same thing, 2 copies of this, whatever. So with that being said, we also have a discussion here of this pipe and the Smith Reservoir, and I'll let whoever's speaking speak to whatever's being done. I mean, Kenny, let me start with, Kenny, again, that it was anticipated that the work would be done in a short time. I know you had problems with DEC, but I'm looking at those issues I thought were resolved a few months ago, and work should have progressed. So if you want to tell us where you're at on this.
I've got less than a day's worth of work to complete what I've been working and getting done. It's just a rough construction road so that we can start to do whatever. In the wintertime, I knocked the track off the excavator so I couldn't work. The snow at one point when I was up there to the machine was deep, as everybody's aware. That shut it down for the winter. Came the spring, I went back, started to go to work. That's when I had the visit from Marie Ellenbrogen, and I got issued a ticket for operating a motorized vehicle on state land, even though everything I had done was in agreement with Jeff Ryder, who's in charge of that, with the DEC. The morning that Marie came to the house, and before she asked me for my driver's license or whatever, she did explain why she was there, what her concerns were, so on. She asked me if it was written in the permit that I could go on this little access road, which actually originates on private property, then crosses over the line, goes on to state. I said I didn't have the permit there with me, even at the house. Rick had it, so I couldn't go through and read and see whatever. But when Jeff Ryder and I had originally walked up on the mountain, he said, I asked him, because the very first section, probably 250 to 300 feet, was really dense with tree growth and major rock piles. And all I'm trying to do at this point, or what I've been trying to do at this point, is clear the trees back. Everything that I've done had to be approved, obviously, by the DEC. I don't know where the deed of easement is. I don't even know how wide the deed of easement is that the town has or the village has. So I was just working best I could with the situation being what it was. When she issued the ticket, it took, I don't know, probably 5 weeks to get completely resolved. Then I went to go back to work. In the meantime, I did go up with the machine again, which I had moved off the site, went back up and continued to work. Then I was approached by Bob Sr., Ricky, yourself. Actually, I came to you, and that the funding due to the water main on Bridge Street needing to be repaired, which I understand, they asked to stop the work. No more billable time. So that's what it's been. I mean, that's between Marie and getting the thing straightened out with the DEC, then making another appointment with Jeff Ryder, Steve Sherry, and there was 2 other people there, and I forgot what their name was. That took probably 3 weeks before I could meet with them. Then they had to reissue the permit, with certain changes in the permit allowing me to do more work. They did mark more trees, to be cut or pushed over, whatever the case may be. And that's where we're at. In the process of doing this, yes, I did break the pipe coming off the mountain. I've also been back out of my own pocket, bought the pipe. We finished it today because I needed help. James went with me. We finished putting everything back together. Ask any questions you have.
Well, first I'm gonna say I don't recall saying to stop the work you were doing because you said you only had a minimal amount, and at that time it was again a day's work or so.
That's possible. And
That, as far as I knew, again, Rick had done it under an emergency repair condition.
Yeah.
And that's what got you in the first place. So the pipe is repaired and there is water
it's all
flowing?
repaired. The water has been blowing out of the overflow on the reservoir for at least a week, week and a half at this point. This morning we finished the last repair, which was all the way up on the top where I had stopped.
So the water, and I'll change this, the water is flowing from the Smith Reservoir down to the main reservoir now?
All the way,
Yes. Okay.
all the way.
So that's resolved. So we should see some recovery, Rick, within the next few days? We should see
No, it's full. It's running out of the overflow.
Oh, it's just running.
Yeah.
It's direct capacity.
It's full.
Just for a point, I was up there this morning right after Jimmy
Yeah.
and Ken were up there. I walked up there because I was aware of the damaged pipe and everything. There is water coming out of the first spring. There's 3 springs up there. The first one, what we call Rock Spring, and then the top spring, and then Smith Reservoir. The Rock Spring, there's no pipe coming into the main pipe there, so there has to be a pipe put back into there.
Yes, but that also needs to be completely rebuilt. What it was a little,
There were cisterns.
that's the only thing that hasn't been repaired.
There's cisterns up there that constitute the spring. They're all overflowing, so there should be water coming in there.
There is.
There isn't.
No, not from that one,
Not
because
from
they're
Rock
missing,
Spring.
missing 6 feet of pipe.
The next spring up has a 2-inch line coming from the cistern. The cistern's overflowing. That 2-inch pipe is crimped, and that wasn't
That's a
repaired.
3-inch pipe that I crimped.
3-inch pipe. It's still
Yep.
still crimped, and there's maybe 1/8 the amount of water coming through that. So that's not repaired there. I went up to the
That's running the same amount of water that it always did. The iron pipe, the 2-inch iron pipe that comes out of that cistern that you're calling it, okay?
Is it plastic pipe? The 3-inch plastic
There,
pipe
it
coming
starts
out?
out as plastic, then it goes to iron pipe, is closed off with rust in it. That needs to be replaced in order to get full flow.
Let me just ask my fault.
Can I say something?
Well, I'm finished. I appreciate
It has to do with what you're talking about.
Okay, so I went up to the Smith Reservoir. The Smith Reservoir is about 8 inches below the overflow. There's a lot of water in there. However, like I showed you in those pictures that I took up there about 2 or 3 weeks ago, there's now a freeboard of about 1.5 feet of water over that. There is no water coming out of the Smith Reservoir.
There is probably 1.5 to 2-inch pipe, which we repaired this morning, but that has nothing to do with anything I've done. Above where I did the repair this morning, I haven't been.
You're absolutely correct. And in the fall, we did employ two individuals to go and clean that out. And we paid that bill for cleaning from the reservoir down. There was supposed to be water coming from the reservoir down to the top spring. But there is no water coming down through there.
First of all, the leaves in the fall into the Smith Reservoir, hundreds of tons of them. If the thing was overflowing, you would get rid of the leaves. But because of the way it's been rebuilt, it doesn't overflow, and the leaves lay in there. And the pipe that comes up in the middle that gets the water down into the main line has holes all the way down. And when you get those leaves in there, and that was the whole purpose of building this road. When we had that meeting, we said, let's start, we'll make a road. Then we can work on this stuff. We're not supposed to be repairing or fixing now. What we're supposed to be doing is getting a road so we can replace the line and put in a uniform line and be able to repair it properly. Not putting pieces of 2-inch, half-inch, 1-inch wooden pipe. There's still wooden pipe up there that the water runs through.
I'm not talking about that pipe there. I mean, you're talking about the Smith Reservoir. We have had a history of going up there every 2 or 3 years with the a small excavator that we access from the Wittenberg Trail, and we have dug that out. That's been done, it should be done probably every 2 or 3 years, it's probably more like every 4 or 5 years it has been done, but that has been done before.
It hasn't been done since I walked up there.
Well, I'm not sure when the last time you walked up there, but,
The only time I know it was done was when that wall was repaired.
I did it 3 times when Robert was still alive. When he was doing the digging, I went up there with my little excavator and dug it out.
and I think Randy was up there a couple,
I understand.
years back, and did that once or twice, to the best of my recollection. Anyway, that reservoir has enough water in it, and I understood, well, we've had 7 inches of rain in July, and there is excess water coming out of the reservoir. I'd love to see that being used. But I believe the first spring is feeding that just by itself, because there's very little water coming out of the rock spring, none actually coming out of the rock spring. And,
No, but the two springs on either side are running a full pipe, which are 2-inch pipe.
Well, it could be a 2-inch pipe, but, we've got 4 coming down, but when we're talking about Rick is concerned in August, we should have all 3 of those things running.
Yep.
That's why we put the
Let's
road in.
finish this road first.
That's why
so
the
we can
road's
work
going
on
in,
it.
once the road's in.
So you can clean out the reservoir,
Rock
so you
Spring
can
will
replace
be
the
Well,
fixed,
so we can have
Every
access
Spring
to
and-
work on this.
And Simpson Spring.
I understand that.
Let's not fix it till we
There's
get the
fill in
road
there.
up.
Sediment.
It's running probably a 3 to 4-inch pipe full,
Right now-
overflow out of the
Yeah,
reservoir.
let James,
Right now, you have to carry shovels, picks, pipe, and everything up on your
Mr.
back.
Stanley, please. James, part of the problem with Smith Reservoir is that the water is running out from under it. First, you have to stop the water so it can flow over the overflow. This way, it fills the reservoir to capacity. Then your leaves and all will flow out the overflow a lot, right? You stop the water from going out from underneath the wall. I mean, you spent money to fix the wall on the top, but you didn't spend the money to stop the water from flowing out from under it.
Well, we do have free water, and one concern.
Yeah, but when you start getting a
address.
drought, where's the water gonna go?
One-
Out the bottom, it's not gonna keep
One
filling
thing I'd
up.
like to address on that is we should be concerned with that dam up there, that, I think you guys did an outstanding job up there. It's not compromised at all, but there is a hole that's fallen in there. Before you take you're talking about putting plastic and everything in there. What was that? And putting in that and raising the water up there, while that hole is in there and it's compromised underneath, I don't think that's a good idea. It's probably a good idea that the water is only halfway up, because if you put an extra amount of pressure on that dam right now, before you repair that, you could lose the dam.
See, the whole idea is not to repair anything, it's to get a road so we can rebuild it, so we can do a good system, and not just keep patching up the old crap that's there. And that's what's been happening for years and years and years, you know?
I think you're talking about the pipes, and I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about the reservoirs and everything.
You're both talking about the whole thing, from the bottom to the top.
I've been in muck this deep to clean out those little reservoirs, those catch basins, that you wouldn't want to even put your nose near. And it's going down. I mean, I know the water's treated afterwards.
I mean,
Okay, hold on, Randy.
I don't want to question Bob, I don't want to question James, but I've helped clean Smith Reservoir since 1974, when we cleaned it by hand. There is no such thing as James saying that the leaves are going to flow over top of that dam. It never happened, it never will. The wet leaves, when it comes off that mountain, are a hell of a lot heavier than water, and they sink to the bottom. Chichester Reservoir, Lower Chichester Reservoir, there's 6 to 8 feet of leaves every year. Smith Reservoir,